Hello and welcome in another episode. This is a small part of my collection of winter tires. I go through lots of them during every winter and for last many years. I don't even know how long it's been. Today I want to talk to you about winter tires and what I use. This might give you some ideas on what you can use if you want to ride your bike in the winter. Yeah, so let's get back into the workshop because it's kind of cold out here. Now at the beginning I have to say this is no advice. I'm not giving you any advice on what tire you should use and how you should ride and what works and what doesn't. I'm going to tell you what works for me, what I do and what I discovered for me while riding in the winter. I know there are people on YouTube that shows videos with many different tires and many different bikes, but again, like I said, I'm going to talk about what works for me. So the first thing I discovered, the lighter the bike, the better you go. 50cc, for example, like Derby Zenda or some Gilera, little enduro 50cc bikes, they're perfect for winter. Heavy, big bikes, 1200 GS, Honda Goldwing, Harley Davidsons, most of them, they're not very good winter bikes. Why? Mostly because you get into trouble with the balance much more often than you do in the summer. I know people that go through a whole season without even tipping once, even on a parking spot. When I drive on my CRF, I'm on the ground every 10 minutes. So light bikes will help with the first problem, which is a balance and a control that you have over the bike on the very slippery surface like snow and ice. Second thing I discovered, the power and the capacity of your engine. Well, the capacity comes with the power, so let's focus mainly on the power. The more power you have, the faster you can get yourself into the trouble. I've been in a situation many times when I was going into the corner and my back wheel starts to slide while I have a full throttle on my CRF. If my CRF had, let's say, 100 horsepower, this will be a goodbye scenario, but because the engine is so weak, it actually helps me control it more and continue with the traction in the corner on the ice and snow. So less power, it's better. I'm not talking about the very weak engines like 4, 5, 6 horsepower, but anything over 30 will get you into trouble, especially when the engine is capable of delivering this power quickly into your wheel. Well, you might get yourself quickly into trouble. So CRF, perfect for that, sometimes even too much, and is only 28 horsepower. I rode Tenere 700 World Raid in the winter. It kills all the traction. You're losing grip almost every time you open the throttle. It kills your tire, especially when you have a spike. They go away very quickly, so 30 horsepower, way more than enough for me. Like I said, for me. I'm not Paul Tares. Now when it comes to the tires, again, this is for me. This is what I do. Feel free to don't like it. Any type of adventure tires suck in the winter, on snow and ice. I was on a Pirelli, they suck. I tested on this Caro 4 Metzeler. It has nothing to do with the winter, and don't be fooled. Most of the adventure tires like this Caro and the Pirelli I had on my Yamaha and this Mitas, this is MC24 I believe, most of them come with the M+S, which stands for mud and snow. Someone put those marks on those tires just to cover a broader part of the market with those tires, but believe me, they have nothing to do with the winter. And in the mud, this one is a disaster. This one is a little bit better, but as soon as I hit the muddy terrain with my Tenere on those standard Pirelli, they still have M+S marks on them, but they don't work in mud, and they don't work in snow, and they especially don't work on ice. So at least for me, I am forgetting about any type of adventure tires, so this goes away. Now there are very old tires like this Dunlop here, I don't know, Sportsmaster or something. This tire still have M+S on its side. For me, M+S means absolutely nothing. I don't go by this sign at all because This sign is put on the tire just so they can cover the bigger part of the market. It means nothing, at least for me. I don't look at this. Now, there are tires that are specially designed to be used in the winter. They have a little 3-peak mountain with a snowflake. This sign is called 3PMSF sign. And that means that this tire was actually designed and developed and, most importantly, tested on its performance in the winter on snow and ice. So this little 3-peak mountain with a snowflake sign, this means much, much more, but there is so little tire with this mark. It's so little, as a matter of fact, that none of the tire here have that mark. All of them are M+S, but none of them has a 3-peak and a snowflake sign, which means they are not designed. They work, they look like they work, and they do, some of them, but they are not designed to do that. So pay attention to that, because I don't know how it is in your country or in your place, but if you get into a trouble on a motorcycle in the winter, let's say you crash into a pedestrian, or let's say you crash into a car and you make some damage or harm somebody, you might be held liable even if it's, let's say, not 100% your fault. You might be in trouble just because you have rode illegal tires. So all tires, even if it's M+S, like all those adventure tires, I don't care about that. So this one goes away. I don't care because it doesn't mean anything, but mostly I don't care because they don't work. So what we got left, it's knobbies. Normal standard knobbies for the motocross and enduro riding. And now at least I have a choice between 3 different types of knobbies. I got classic knobby tire for the motocross and enduro, a classic knobby tire with spikes for motocross and enduro, and we call them here our Army Edition. It's a knobby tire for the motocross and enduro bikes, but spikes on it are much, much smaller. I'm not sure if you can see that. Spikes on all 3 of them. The one in the middle is, they're still small. I've seen them with much longer spikes. I have longer spikes right now on my CRF than this one in the middle. That's a normal motocross and enduro tire. And that's a sort of a knobby tire with the small spikes that allows you to drive a little bit better when the condition change to the good road condition, what I called, which is dry asphalt, and like I said, snow service been very well, and they use a lot of salt, and there is no ice and snow on the road. You can still kind of go nicely with this tire. Now when it comes to the tire in the middle, there are spikes. They're about 5-6 millimeter long. I don't have it with me now, but the spikes on the CRF now on the front wheel, they're about 8 to 10 millimeter long. And there are also special ice racing tires which have spikes way above 10, 15, sometimes even 20 millimeter long, which is very long tire. You can forget completely about riding this tire on the asphalt. Now, when it comes to these 3 tires, and we can add this one, and let's say we add that one. None of these tires, it's actually funny, but it's true. None of these tires is road approved, which means on every single one of these tires, somewhere on the sidewall, it says not for highway use, or like this one, off-road use only. Not for highway use, not for highway use, off-road use only. So that's it. We should end the episode now, and I should tell you that, well, you cannot use winter tires on the road, so you cannot ride. I've been warned once by a Norwegian road administration, which is called Statens Vegvesen, about using especially these long spikes. They told me that I'm not supposed to be on the road with those because I damage the road, and they are not safe, they are not tested, they are not approved, and they're right. That's why I switched to the smaller spikes like those Army special tires. But sacrifice is that these tires get me through everything: dry asphalt, wet asphalt, snow and ice, with some cautions. Now on that tire, I can go like a maniac because they hold like crazy on the ice and snow, but as soon as you hit the asphalt, like a nice road, this tire is extremely dangerous. There is no grip, there is no braking, there is no acceleration. And what's happened if you use this tire on the asphalt for a lots of time? That's what happens. You buy yourself a 2,000 or 3,000 kroner tire and she get destroyed very, very quickly in the middle. On the side it's still okay, but all the braking and acceleration here in the middle, as you can see, all of them are gone. So this tire was on my CRF for about 2 weeks. I made about 500-600 kilometers with it. And as you can see, it's a garbage now. You can throw it away because the spikes on the side work. They still work very nicely, but the middle doesn't work anymore. So it's a garbage. Now summer knobbies, I'm not going to talk about the compound and the softness and the amount of rubber in the rubber, because when you drive at -20, it doesn't matter absolutely. All it matters that do you have spikes or not. Like I said, all those knobby tires, most of them are not for highway use, off-road use only. If I know I'm going to go, let's say, to the city, or I'm just going to go for some spin and some ride, and I don't know what the condition are, I'm sticking with those little Spikes Army Edition tires. They work okay in all conditions. If I know I'm going to be constantly in the snow and ice and off-road, I'm choosing the big spikes. And if I know I'm going to take the bike to the motocross track, but I'm not going to go there on the wheels, I'm going to take the bike in the car, I'm choosing the motocross and enduro spikes, the long one, the 10 and 12 millimeter long, because they hold like crazy and the track is not actually damaging them as bad as the asphalt will. So that's the two options I have. I switch between these two, between the almost road okay tires and the very not road okay tires. I switch a lot between these two. I change them. As you can see, I've been trying with many different tires. This is a small part of what I have. I have a small garage under the house which has, I don't know, maybe 40, maybe 45 tires, and they all have been on all my bikes, mostly on the CRF. So I'm trying, I'm testing. Now when it comes to spikes, the spikes, the short one, factory mounted. This tire was produced like that. They sit very, very well, and they have this self-sharpening system. So when you deaccelerate or when you go downhill, they get sharper, and when you accelerate, they use their sharpness to get better grip. Enduro and motocross tires with the long and medium spikes, also factory mounted. They mount it in the factory. The tire is produced like that. They also hold okay. They don't come out as often. But the minus is that they get cut. They crack. And as you can see, there's 4 spikes here. They're still in the tire. They're still there. But they're gone. They halfway cut, and that's it. What I did once, I bought those Swedish rally spikes. And you screw them in yourself. And my experience is with the screw-in spikes that they don't hold very well. They look very nice. They're very easy to mount, but they come out as crazy. I put about 600 of those into the Yamaha Tenere tires, and I lost half of them in the first day. So they came out. There are also spikes that you can mount with the heat. They're getting hot in a special gun, and you screw them in, and then they sit a little bit better than those, but not as good as the original factory mounted tires. And there are also cold drilled spikes. They look almost like those, but they have a little two sort of cuts for the key to screw them in. They work. You can put them in almost every single tire you want, but they come out, they don't work. So you have to make a choice yourself. You have to sacrifice some things. These tires are amazing. You can go like crazy, but they're gonna cost you a new set of tires, especially the back one, every 2 weeks. These tires don't give you as much grip and control over the bike, but they're gonna probably last you the whole season, and you can go around the whole country in the winter on these tires. So if you, for example, have a choice of having only one tire and one type, and you don't have the opportunity to have a 2 or 3 sets and a tire changing machine, which makes it much easier to change, and you don't have a place in the workshop, and you have to have one tire for the whole winter, and you want to go through everything, kind of, tires like that. Now this tire is called Trelleborg Army Special. I know there is also a Mitas, so that's what I'm using if I don't know what the condition will be. But like I said, my bike goes sometimes off-road, sometimes on-road. It's still road legal bike with the plate and lights. So I need tires that not gonna make me slide, and also not gonna make road administration crazy, because I can imagine that this is damaging the asphalt. And if all cars and lorries and bikes have spikes like this, there will be no asphalt after about 2 weeks. Leave a comment in the comment what you are using, what works for you, and what experience do you have. And if you have any brands and models of the tire that I maybe never seen, send it as well. I might buy them and test them. So we'll see, maybe I can find something better than this one. But as far as now, this tire is good enough in most of the conditions I'm in. A few weeks ago I was in a very deep snow in the forest with this tire. It didn't work well. I came back, I switched to the medium spikes. It was much better, but then I switched to the very long spikes that are on the bike now. But then I used it on asphalt, and the same stuff happened like just here. And the tire is a garbage now. So enough of this nonsense, let's go and ride. So like I said before, the tire I have now, those Army Edition tires with the small spikes, they kind of a compromise. They go okay. I cannot go crazy like I do with the long spikes. But as you've seen yourself, all the main roads are clean of any snow and ice. It's just asphalt, so I will destroy them very, very quickly. So this is a good enough compromise. I'm missing the grip right here with the long spikes, but yeah, you have to sacrifice something for the other. I'm getting kind of bored of those short trips around here, so I'm planning in a few weeks to make a much longer trip, and I will be using these tires. I forgot to mention the pressure I run. I run 1.5 on the back and 1 bar in the front. So that's it in today's episodes. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.